The United Nations had to hit the Trump administration with an ultimatum this week, letting them know that they are now $4 billion in debt to the international body because apparently, believe it or not, Donald Trump didn't pay his bills. In fact, it's not just that he missed this last payment. No, Donald Trump, his administration, didn't pay their dues to the United Nations for the entire year of 2025. $4 billion, a number that, of course, is calculated based on GDP, based on median income. Basically, it's gauged on how well your country's doing financially is what you owe the UN. And Trump just didn't pay. And now the United Nations says, if we don't get this money, we're not going to have enough money to operate as the United Nations. We're effectively going to go bankrupt if you don't pay us. Donald Trump is somebody who, in his private life before he became president, was sued multiple times by multiple different contractors that he had hired for not paying his bills. Like, this is his MO. This is what he does. He doesn't pay his bills. He also hates the United Nations. So honestly, them coming to him with an ultimatum saying, if you don't pay your bills, we're going to be bankrupt, that's the best news he could get. Okay, that was absolutely the wrong way to go about that. You know, we've got to be brutally honest here. He doesn't want you to exist. He wants his new little grifting peace board that he is, the head of, to be the new international governing body, not the UN. He has literally said that. So for y'all to tell him that the existence of the UN may hinge on him paying his bills, something he already hates to do, that may be the worst thing you could have ever said to Donald Trump. You're basically telling him, if you don't do a thing that you hate, a thing that you hate is going to disappear. That's a win-win situation for Donald Trump, unfortunately. And it's a lose-lose situation for the rest of the world. Let me read you this. Should the United States fall 2 years behind in its payment obligations to the UN, it could lose the right to vote per Article 19 of the UN Charter. The amount that member countries pay to the UN is determined by its gross national incomes and income per capita. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has been in recent contact with U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz, with Waltz signifying that the Trump administration would, in fact, make a significant down payment on its owed dues in a matter of weeks. We're going to make a down payment. But this is an administration that tells us we brought in trillions of dollars in investments. They literally tell us that the tariffs brought in trillions of dollars, even though it's only a couple $100 billion, but still, where's that money, right? Where'd all that go? Why do we have to make a down payment on $4 billion when we could just pay $4 billion? I mean, that's like a fraction of a percentage point of what we spend on our military each year. At this point, it's a fraction of what we're spending on ICE every year. They're not going to pay. They want the UN to disappear, and this seems like Donald Trump's golden ticket to make that happen. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.